YouTube, what's going on? It's HIGHMMA, and today we are here to discuss the results of UFC Noche, UFC 306. This was a rough one, boys. I ain't gonna lie, I fucking hated this card. I got all my picks wrong except for Rodriguez. It was shit. It was so shit. Right, so basically what we're going to do today is just go through the main fighters from the card. I'm just going to match them up with who I think they should fight next, talk about what was good and what was bad about their fights. You get what I'm going for here. So let's not fuck around. Let's get straight into this shit. The first fighter we are talking about is Merab Dvalishvili, the winner, the new bantamweight champ. It feels painful to say it. Like, I am in actual pain and agony when I say Merab is champ. But we can't do anything about it, man. He's champ. And, you know, it's not like he put on a bad performance. The pace he put on O'Malley was dangerous. His grappling was strong, dominant. He doesn't really go for submissions. And you know, he doesn't really deal out the strongest ground and pound. I'm not going to lie. O'Malley didn't really look like he took that much damage, if I'm honest. I think O'Malley actually did more damage to Merab in the fight. I'm not trying to glaze, I'm just saying. But, you know, we got to see his amazing cardio again. Not much can be really said about Merab because he goes about every fight the same way, you know. Shitty stand-up, constantly grappling, no submission threat. I feel like his next fight should be Umar, just because, you know, he was clearly terrified in the post-fight. It should make for some interesting, like, fight lead-up. I think there'll be some interesting trash talk between them. I think it'll be pretty funny. If not him, send in Figueiredo. I am convinced Figueiredo would fucking finish him. I feel like O'Malley just doesn't have the grappling that Figueiredo has. I feel like if Merab tried pulling that shit with Figueiredo, he'd lock him up into a choke and snatch that fucking strap. So I'm saying, out of all of the fights we could see next, I want to see Figueiredo the most, but I feel like Umar will happen more likely. Not much more I can be saying about Merab. I don't even want to talk about the dude. I fucking hate him. It was literally my favorite fighter in the organization. Lost to my least favorite fighter in the organization. Why does life do this shit to me? It's just so fucking shit. But we're going to talk about the other person, you know, the man who was on the other side of the octagon from him. We're talking about Sean O'Malley next. And, oh man, it's just so painful to talk about. Now, he didn't have the worst performance of all time. Like, you know, it wasn't like Israel Adesanya versus fucking Sean Strickland. Like, he did have moments where he didn't look terrible, but it just wasn't usual O'Malley, was it? You know, he didn't go for the head enough. He wasn't fast on his feet. Like, he fought like he had an injury, but he didn't even have an injury. It was really, really tedious and annoying to watch because I really, really do feel like Sean O'Malley has the skills to beat Merab. I know I'm coping right now, but, you know, I just really do. And I think a lot of fans actually agree with me. And I feel like if he would have just bit down on the mouthpiece a bit more and actually went for these fucking combos instead of being so scared of the threat of the takedown, that we would have seen a much more interesting fight because, you know, his body kicks were strong and we saw that they damaged Merab a lot at the end of round 5. And, you know, they were only the best things that he was throwing. He would throw these, like, jabs or these twos as he was just kind of moving with Merab, and they just weren't really working because Merab was just kind of rolling with them. They weren't doing too much damage. He didn't throw enough knees. He didn't throw enough head kicks. It just was very, very, very annoying to watch. And now he has also announced that he's taken a year off, which I don't blame him for. You know what I mean? He's a fighter. He knows what is best for him. But because of the fact that he's going to be taking a year off, it means that he's definitely not getting thrown straight into a title shot upon his return. He's probably going to have to beat someone like a Figgy, or what I feel like should happen next, the Peter Yan rematch. I don't want to see no bullshit Corey Sandhagen fight that fucking Sean O'Malley's gonna win. I don't care. I know everyone's acting like they want to see that fight. I don't. I think the real fight is the Peter Yan rematch. If he comes back and beats Peter Yan in that rematch and proves, yeah, the first fight was fucking bullshit. I don't care if you think he won. I'm the king, and he's 2-0 against Peter Yan. That's enough for the title shot. I say, fuck the Henry Cejudo fight. Fuck the Corey Sandhagen fight. Throw him Peter Yan. I think this is the best fight you can make for Sean O'Malley coming back. I really do. I want to know what you guys think in the comments about that one there. So let me know what you're thinking. And yeah, like I said, not too much more I can say about Sean O'Malley. I want to take my hats off to him though. You know, he's in top 3 bantamweights of all time for me personally. There is a little bit of glaze there, I won't lie. But, you know, I just have a lot of respect for him. He's someone that really got me into the sport. I've been following him since his first fight on the Contender Series. And yeah, it's just rough to watch, but I know he'll be back. He'll be back stronger. And yeah, not much more I can say about Sean O'Malley, so let's move on. The next fighter we are talking about is Brian Ortega. Now, I wanted him to win this fight, but I was very aware that Diego Lopez was more than likely going to win. I did pick Brian, I'm not going to lie. It was just, I just thought that he might have been able to just outskill Diego. Diego's made himself look a little bit unskilled at certain moments, but I can't say that he looked very unskilled against Brian. I'm not going to sit here and hate. He almost knocked him the fuck out super early in the fight. But we're not talking about Diego yet. We're talking about Brian. So what is next for Brian Ortega, the Eagle God? I think that the lightweight move is the best move for him. I don't really think there's much left for him at featherweight. You know, he beat Yair in the second fight. Okay win. He didn't look too great in that. And now he's lost to a surging new contender like Diego Lopez, who has snatched his number 3 spot in the rankings. Bro went from number 13, I think it was, to number 3. That is crazy. So I think Brian Ortega just needs to settle into a new division, lightweight being that division. But, you know, you got to look at the facts. He was just ranked 3rd. We don't need to make him fight an unranked contender. Let's throw him up there in the rankings. Let's see him take on either a Gamrot or a Fiziev. Because Fiziev's had a long layoff. You know, no one wants to fight him. He's a striker. Brian Ortega's a grappler. That could make for an interesting fight. It's either a devastating knockout on Rafael Fiziev's part, and it'd be really, really fun to watch, or we get maybe an interesting submission, or Brian Ortega just schools him to decision. You know, it'd be entertaining either way. And if not that, I want to see the Mateusz Gamrot fight. He's coming off a loss to Dan Hooker, but he didn't look too bad in that fight. He needs a comeback fight to get him back up there in title talks, because people will very quickly forget about Gamrot. He's not a likable guy. And I think the win that could probably get him there is Brian Ortega. I think that Gamrot would finish Brian Ortega, honestly. I think he'd TKO him. I just think Ortega's chin is just gone, and I don't know if his power will correlate up to lightweight at the moment. It's just going to be super sad to see featherweight go forward without Brian Ortega in it. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of him. I've been a huge fan of him growing up. I watched a lot of his fights, and I've just loved Brian Ortega. I don't want to see the Eagle God go up to lightweight and get fucked up, but that's probably what's going to happen. And if he's going to get fucked up, let someone that's coming off of a loss or had a layoff, you know, get back in there against him. Let's not put him in there with a fucking, I can't even think off the top of my head, like a Paddy Pimblett who's probably just going to destroy him, you know what I mean? Let's give him someone that's got a little bit of something on their side as well that might hold them back. I think those 2 fights I have just listed there would be great for him. Sad to see him lose, not much more to be said. Let's move on to Diego Lopez. Now, he did look very, very good against Brian Ortega. We see that he's got some dangerous power in his hands. His grappling is there. I see a lot of people calling for the title shot or a Volkanovski fight. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Volkanovski fight could be cool. But I don't think that is what will happen, even though it would be fucking sick. You know what? All of these fights that I'm about to talk about, I think, have the same likelihood of happening. Maybe not the Evloev one, but we'll talk about that first, okay? I want to see Lopez and Evloev run it back. I don't know if Lopez can beat Evloev. I'm sorry, I hate to take the groomer's side, because Evloev does kind of get down with the Diddy Party members, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to beat him this time. Evloev's beaten him already, and the thing is, I just don't know if Diego Lopez has done enough for the title shot. I see a lot of people saying he deserves it, but I think you're just looking at his mullet and the cringy tattoos and you just want him to win. I think he needs to work a little bit more before he gets there. I think if not the Evloev fight, he should fight the loser of Topuria and Holloway. I think Holloway's going to lose, so I think it will be him versus Holloway. I just don't know if Diego Lopez is as good as everyone says he is. I don't want to be that guy calling him a fraud or anything, because he is a great fighter. I just don't know if he's going to be able to hang in there with Topuria and Holloway. I feel like he could get slumped by Topuria, and I think Holloway would just piece him up across 5 rounds. That's why we need to see him against maybe an Evloev. You know, imagine he finished Evloev, then he's definitely deserved the title shot. You know what I mean? He's earned it then. That's just the point I'm trying to make. But in the Brian Ortega fight itself, I was super impressed with the hand speed and you know, just his technique in general. He looked a little bit sharper than the Ige fight, which I was very happy with. So yeah, that's all I can really say about Brian Ortega. They are the 4 fighters that I took away from the card and I really wanted to speak about. But the UFC decided to announce something during the card that we definitely need to talk about because it's just fucking stupid. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen, but we might as well talk about it now. Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones finally got announced. It's happening in November, if I remember correctly, or it could be October. I think November, though. And I think we all know what's going to happen. Jon Jones is going to get him on the floor in either round 1 or 2 and just crawl on his back and rear naked choke. An old Stipe who could barely fucking walk. Bro, Stipe can't even speak English anymore. That's what he sounds like, bro. That is all that you're going to get from Stipe Miocic. They'd rather have Stipe Miocic ranked number fucking 9th rather than just have the fight with the interim champion. How does it make sense, bro? You know what? True fact. At the start of this whole Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones saga, I was taking Jon Jones' side. I was like, nah, he's the GOAT. He doesn't have to do anything that he doesn't want to do, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, when he's the interim champion and he's defended the interim belt, why are you fighting the number 9th ranked contender, bro? It's retarded. These Mickey Mouse title shots, like, for example, Roundtree versus Pereira and Usyk versus Pantoja, just show how fucking terrible the state of the matchmaking is in the UFC, and it just needs an overhaul. I'm not sure how much of a say Dana White gets in things, but I don't think that Dana White is really leading them in the right direction either. You see the way he talks in his interviews. He's just not even spitting facts anymore, bro. He's lying or just chatting shit every time he's on the fucking mic, and I love Dana White, but I feel like all of us as fans, we're all saying this. Guru saying it, Bedtime saying it, Kenny Okoye saying it, fucking Lucas Tracy was saying it before he retired, Nutsack MMA is saying it, On the Liver MMA is saying it, we're all fucking saying it. Dana White needs to fix up, man, because he's ruining the UFC right now, and I'm a huge fan, but I don't like the way it's going. But we just got to get through the Jon Jones card, and then hopefully there's fucking brighter days ahead. What else got announced for that card? There was a pretty big... Oh, yeah, the fucking Chandler versus Oliveira 2 fight. Absolutely Mickey Mouse fight. No point in watching it. Bro, I don't want to see that fight, really. I'd rather Oliveira fight just someone that he's not fought in the division, or maybe even run it back with Arman. Well, nah, not actually, because they're going to give Arman the title shot. I just thought that fight was so fucking close, and I feel like people don't talk about it enough. But yeah, there's not much more I can really say. That's 306 wrapped up and done for you all by yours truly, High MMA. I just want to say, I know it seems like I'm pretty unhappy with the UFC and Dana White in this video, but I just want to say all respects to the fighters, all respect to Dana White for putting together the Sphere event. It was fucking sick. It is just, as a fan, when I have to watch the fucking heavyweight champion fight the number 9th ranked contender and pretend to be happy about it, I'm not fucking gonna be, man, and neither are any of you. So I want to say thank you all for watching, and you know what else I'm gonna say. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. Do what the fuck you want, man. But I'll catch you in the next video. I know I ain't been as what the fuck is the word? Consistent recently, but the video's gonna be running back out with some speed now. So don't even worry about it. But I'm gonna leave it there. So I'll catch you all later. Peace.